As one of the most popular immigration countries, Australia attracts hundreds of thousands of new immigrants every single year. Of course, migrating to Australia is now becoming more challenging, but believe it or not, I managed to get Australia PR within 1 year after I made the decision. So in this video, I am going to show you the step-by-step process on how to move to Australia with skilled migration visa from my own experience. So here is the roadmap for PR application. The first step is the eligibility check. And the next step is to complete your skills assessment with the responsible authorities. The third step is to take your English test, followed by submitting your expression of interest online. Once you receive the invitation, you can submit your visa application to the Australian government. And finally, your visa is granted. So now let's take a look at the first step, check your eligibility. The first thing to do is to choose the visa type you want to apply. For skilled migration, there are several options including the skilled independent visa, the state nominated visa, and the skilled regional visa. Different visas will have different criteria of assessment, so it is important to choose the visa type that best suits your condition, and I will share with you which visa I applied at the end of the video. The next thing to do is to check if your work experience is listed on the skilled occupation list. Based on the type of the visa you choose, there are different lists of occupation that you can refer to, and they can all be found on Australian government's website. Once you confirm that your job is on the list, you can start calculating your points based on the latest point table provided by the Australian government. The factors to be considered includes age, English language skills, education qualifications, skilled work experience. In 2020, there is a new criteria to put your partner's English level and skills as a mandatory factor to consider. In order to be eligible for PR application, the minimum total points you should get is 65. And I will make another video to explain more details on how to calculate your points and how you can maximize your total points. Step 2. Complete skills assessment. First, find the list of required documents from the website of skills assessment authorities. Based on the occupation list mentioned earlier, you will be able to find which authority is responsible to assess your work experience. Next, prepare your documents according to the requirements you found on the authority's website, such as your employer letter and your educational degree certification. Please note that many of these documents may require additional certification from a lawyer or legal institution. Once all the documents are prepared, you can proceed to submit your application with the documents on the Skilled Assessment Authority's website. The authority will need time to review all the documents before coming up with the result. Therefore, the whole assessment process after application might take as long as several months to complete. Step 3. Take your English test. There are several types of English test results accepted by the Australian government, which includes IELTS, TOEFL, OTE, PTE, and CAE. You only need to take one of these tests to prove your English level, and your English level will be based on your English test result. The higher English level you get, the more points you can claim in your PR application. A small tip from my experience is that since the skill assessment may take as long as a few months, you can make use of this waiting time to improve your English test result, because you can take this test as many times as you like and use the best results for your application for PR. Step 4. Submit your expression of interest and get invited. Once you get both your English test result as well as your skilled assessment result, you can submit your expression of interest by filling in the online form on Skills Select website. Please make sure that you have already received your skills assessment result and English test result at the point you submit this EOI. Any results that are received after the submission of EOI will be considered invalid and should not be used for PR application based on this particular EOI. Your points will be calculated by the system based on the information included in your EOI, such as your personal details, your English level, and your skilled work experience. The invitation will be sent based on the total point you get as well as the demand for your occupation. which is changing all the time. Therefore, there's no timeline guaranteed on when you can receive the invitation. It could be only a few days after submission of your EOI. In some cases, it could also be as long as several months or even more than a year. However, the higher total points you claim in your EOI, the more likely you will receive your invitation faster. Lastly, no fee is required for EOI submission, but you need to ensure that all the information you put in your EOI are accurate because you will be required to provide evidence once you get invited. Step 5. Apply for PR visa. After receiving your invitation, congratulations, you are now officially eligible to apply for your PR visa. Simply create an account on EMI account website and submit your PR application with your account. Documents to be attached in your application must include your identification documents such as your passport, your national ID, your birth certificate. You also need to provide the police clearance certification from police stations located in all the places you lived in the past. Most importantly, you must submit all the proof documents for points you claim in your EOI, such as your English test and skill assessment result. In addition, you also need to take medical examination at a clinic appointed by the Australian government. This doesn't mean that you have to go to a clinic in Australia. Just simply go to Australian government's website and check which clinic in your country is appointed as an eligible place to do the test. Once the test is finished, the clinic will directly submit your medical examination result to the Australian government. Therefore, you don't have to obtain any results yourself. In fact, you might only know about the result once your PR application is approved. And finally, here's an overview of the application cost. The application fee for primary applicants, which is yourself, is 4,045 Australian dollars as of 2020. The cost of each of the additional applicants over 18, such as your spouse, is a little over 2,000 Australian dollars. And the cost for each additional applicant below 18 years old, such as your children, is slightly over $1,000 each. Please note that these costs do not include the cost of your medical examination, which should be another few hundred of Australian dollars. Step 6. PR granted. After submitting your PR visa application, all you need to do is just to wait for the government to review and verify all your documents and information. The estimated application processing time for each visa type can be found on the Australian government's website, but in general, please expect at least a few months for the process to complete. Once all your information is verified, your visa will be approved and you will receive a visa grant notification letter from the government. The letter will include the valid dates of your PR status as well as the date before which you have to make your first entry to Australia. That's it. The next thing is to book your flight, pack your things, and make the big move to your dream country. Okay, after talking so much about the steps to take, how much time in total would it take for the entire process? There's no fixed answer for that because it's really depending on your personal situation. However, I can share with you the timeline I took to get my PR. The eligibility check was rather a quick process, which only took me 5 to 10 minutes to find out that I was eligible for 190 state-nominated visa. My skill assessment was done by ACS and it took 2 months for me to get the assessment result. For English test, I took different types of tests several times and it took me 3 months in total to get a superior level of English. And I received my invitation 2 months after my EOI submission. And finally, the visa application processing time took the longest, which was 5 months in total, before I eventually received my PR grant letter. So, by adding all this time together, the total amount of time I took was 12 months, which means that I managed to get my PR within a year, and I believe that many people could do much better than this. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what I shared, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I promise I will upload more videos to explain more details about these topics. See you in my next video.